You are fire. They can't put you out. They can't even get close to you without melting. Stay lit.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show, and this is episode 16 of the Mike Armstrong podcast show on the Mike Armstrong Speaker YouTube channel. And on this episode I'm going to talk about sales and the art of negotiation. But first of all, I want to let people know that sales isn't something just for salespeople. Sales is something everybody has to learn how to do and has to do in some form or another. So a lot of people, they're not interested in learning how to be better at sales or how to improve their sales because they think they're not in sales. But ultimately, anyone who's a business person or an entrepreneur is in sales. Anyone who's in a job is in sales. Anyone who's in a relationship is in sales, or is looking for a relationship more so is in sales. But sales is the art of, being able to negotiate with people, and it's being able to solve problems, really, solutions providing. So, everybody, has to negotiate with others. Everybody, wants to solve problems, especially in their lives, their own lives. So, how is everyone in sales? Well, if you want to get a job, you have to sell yourself. Your sales. If you want to get promoted in work, that's sales. You have to sell yourself again. You want to find a partner or keep a partner, it's sales, it's negotiations. You have to sell yourself, or you have to keep selling yourself, or you have to negotiate all the time over different things, compromise, etc. So we're all in sales. If you're in business, then you're ultimately in sales, because every business has to sell, has to make money, otherwise, you go bust. So, there are people who are in business and entrepreneurs and stuff, and they think they're CEOs or FDs or whatever. They don't think they're in sales, but ultimately every aspect of a business is about, winning customers, keeping customers, growing customers, etc. And that's sales. So every person in an organization should be sales trained and influenced in some way, and should be aware of the fact they're in sales. And sales, like I said, one of the things I used to teach sales to a corporate sales team, telesales teams, all sorts of people over the years. I've been involved in so many different sales and careers, sales management, sales directorship careers, that sort of thing. And one of the things I like to teach people about sales is not really to do what traditionally people think is sales. So don't sell to people, don't try and sell features and benefits and talk about products and all of that to people. Don't try selling to somebody. What you should try to do is find out what people need and work out how you can adapt what it is that you offer to what it is that they need. That's called solution selling, and that's the best way of, providing or winning new business, growing customers, and keeping customers, etc. If you keep solving problems and you keep providing answers to problems in the form of the things that you offer, then people will, come to you, they'll stay with you, they'll buy more from you. So that's the art of sales, really, and it's all about negotiating win-win business, really. It's like, okay, what is it you need? What can I offer? How can, we come up with an agreement where you're winning and I'm winning. And if everyone's winning, then you've got much more chance of keeping that relationship going and the customer going long term. Whereas, there are people out there who think it's their job to win at the expense of someone else. And, what they do is they have a short-term win, but they have no long-term gain. So, they win at one point, but they lose for the long term. And those people are stupid. So yeah, it's all about win-win business. Obviously, collaborations are important as well. Sometimes, you do collaborations, you come up with a different business model, etc. You sell the idea of that to the partners, etc. And you come up with a way where you're all winning. And that's the best business that you can do, is find a way where everybody's winning. Everybody's happy. And if you can do that, then you're going to win business, keep business, grow business much more than if you're finding ways where you're trying to do deals but not everybody's happy. The best way of coming up with arrangements where everybody's happy as well and finding out the best way that you can help people is give people some options, find out what it is that they need. So, ask lots of questions in the area of what it is that you can help with. Ask lots of questions, find out what it is that they need, present to them what it is that, you can do to solve those problems and to fill those needs. And then write good proposals which give a few options around the problems you can solve and how you can solve it and the different commercial arrangements that you can do to solve it, etc. Give people at least 3 options, but sometimes more, depending on the situation, a small, a medium and a large. And again, then you're tailoring the solution that you're providing to them, what it is they may want right now, their budget, etc. So that's the art of sales, really. Don't sell, provide solutions, ask lots of questions, tailor what it is that you do to what they need, give lots of options so they can pick the best one, overcome, if you're, providing a product and there's lots of objections, the same objections or conditions, reasons why people just say they can't buy or reasons why people don't need it, etc., then, find ways of overcoming that in your solutions and in your products and offer those as options as well. So if people haven't got no money, that could be an objection or a condition, depending. So offer payment plans or things like that. Be creative, do offers and deals for new business. Because once people come on board, if you do a good service, they'll stay with you and you'll end up growing then. So you don't need to make a lot of money in the first bit of business. Just find ways of growing the customer long term and just, get the customer in through the door for very little profit to start with. Get them in, build a relationship and grow over time. So, and then when you're negotiating with people, don't try ripping them off or being the big man, winning the deal or whatever. Yeah, play a bit of hardball, but find a way where everybody wins. Find a way where everybody's happy. Chuck some more products in. Do whatever you can to win that business and make them happy. And they're going to come back for more and more, and you're going to be able to grow them and build the relationship long term. And who knows where a small deal may end up. I've grown £150 deals into £50,000, £150,000 deals. They started off small and grown over time because the relationship's grown and the need has grown. So that's pretty much all I want to say on sales and negotiating and that sort of thing for now. So there's nothing else for me to say other than have a great day. I know I will. Thanks very much for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.